What up guys, I'm back, and today I'm going to be ranking my top 10 greatest NBA players of all time. Now this was a very difficult list to rank, and I know a lot of you guys will disagree with me and hate for putting a certain player at a certain spot, but we are all entitled to our own opinions, so comment down below what your ranking is. As an honorable mention that almost made the list, I got Kareem AbdulJabbar. So for the number 10 spot for my top 10 greatest NBA players of all time, I got the big fundamental Tim Duncan. Duncan was as competitive as any other player on this list. He dominated on both ends of the floor, from his fundamental moves like his mid-range bank shot and his perfect position defense. He's a 15-time All-Star, a 2-time MVP, a 5-time NBA champion, and a 3-time Finals MVP. Timmy is one of the most winningest players in NBA history, and he has a career average of 19, 11, and 3 with 2 blocks per game. Next on this list, at the number 9 spot, I have Shaquille O'Neal. Shaq was an immovable big down low at 7 foot 300 pounds. He dominated the paint on both ends with his combination of strength and skill. In his first 4 years in the league, he was carrying the Magic, leading them to the finals in 1995. And soon he joined the Lakers and formed one of the greatest duos in NBA history, and he went on to three-peat. He's a 15 times All-Star, a 1-time MVP, a 4-time champion, a 3 times Finals MVP, and he has a career average of 24, 11, and 2 blocks. At number 8, I have Larry Bird. This Celtics legend is one of the greatest players of all time because of his intelligence, competitiveness, and ability to do anything on the court. He overwhelmed defenders with his trash talking and skill to get off shots with regularity. He brought back winning to the Celtics after the Bill Russell era, and he won 3 MVP awards in a row, as well as 3 championships. At number 7 on this list, I have Kobe Bryant. First of all, RIP Kobe, his daughter, and the rest of the passengers in the helicopter crash. But it was very difficult for me to rank Kobe. I've seen many rankings, and some people don't even have him top 10, and some have him top 3, and then people say he's overrated. So I think he should be around the 7th spot. He's known as one of the greatest scorers of all time, and arguably the greatest Laker of all time. Kobe has many achievements with his 81-point game, 60 points in his final game, 1 league MVP, and 5 championships. From his Mamba mentality and amazing game, Kobe is known as an icon around the world and is easily a top 5 to 7 player of all time. Number 6 is Bill Russell, the greatest winner in NBA history. Russell won 11 championships in 13 years, which is the most ever. This pretty much sums up his legacy, but he made his team a defensive juggernaut with his monster rebounding and shot blocking. He was also a 5-time league MVP. Even though he played in the 60s where players were not very good and defense was horrible, he is still an incredible player and an all-time great. Number 5 is Larry Bird's greatest competition, Magic Johnson. He brought the showtime to the Lakers in the 80s by being able to play any position and dominate the court from his amazing and arguably the best passing ability of all time. He was an instant highlight and a walking triple-double. His almost annual battles with Larry Bird, which was one of the best rivalries in NBA history, and his 5 championships and 9 finals appearances, as well as his 3 MVP awards, make him a top 5 player of all time. Number 4 is the man who scored 100 points in a game, Wilt Chamberlain. He is said to be one of the most strongest and most athletic players in NBA history. He was one of the first most dominant big men to ever play in the NBA. His numbers and records are incredible, averaging 50 points and over 20 rebounds per game for a whole season, and as well as scoring 100 points and 55 rebounds in a single game. He also has tied the record for most consecutive seasons, leading the league in scoring with 7. The only reason he doesn't rank higher on this list is because he only won 2 championships and because he couldn't find a way to beat Bill Russell's Celtics. Number 3 on my list is Kareem AbdulJabbar, the greatest center in NBA history. No one could ever match his achievements. He won a record 6 MVP awards, 6 championships, he was a 19-time All-Star, and he earned 15 All-NBA selections in his career. Kareem stunned the NBA with his unstoppable skyhook that he mastered. This allowed him to score with ease. He could be considered a top 2 player of all time, but I believe the 2 players in front of him have a better case, and most people can agree with me on that. At the number 2 spot, my second greatest player of all time, I have LeBron James. I think most people can agree that LeBron is easily a top 2 player of all time. Even though he's hated, you still have to respect his greatness. He's 18 years into his career and he has shown no signs of slowing down at 35 years old. He's an underrated scorer and elite finisher at the rim and has one of the best passing abilities of all time. The greatest player of all time conversation is always being discussed in the NBA, and LeBron is usually a part of it. After he won his first championship in 2012, he began to pass other players such as Kareem, Magic, Kobe, and Larry Bird. LeBron could be considered the GOAT as he has had way less help than the player at number 1 and is arguably a way better playoff performer. LeBron has shown that he can carry a team with no help, such as the 2018 Cavs with no Kevin Love and Kyrie. But the GOAT at number 1 is very unsuccessful in the playoffs without his best teammate Scottie Pippen. I can see the King making a case for the greatest player of all time if he wins a championship with the Lakers and maybe even a 5th MVP award. And at number 1, the greatest player of all time, you already know who it is. One of the best scorers, most athletic players, best mid-range shooters, best finishers, most clutch players, and most accomplished player of all time, Michael Jordan. But wait, I actually have an honorable mention for number 1, and it's actually the best shooter and point guard of all time. Look at Curry, man. You know I had to put him here because Flight, he gonna be mad if I don't have inspirational Curry as the greatest player. But all jokes aside, MJ was insane. He could score without even giving any effort and was an amazing defender. He's a 6-time NBA champion, 6-time Finals MVP, and he has never lost in the finals. Mike is also a 5-time MVP and an assassin on the court, taking down all of his opponents from his competitive fire. Jordan owns countless awards and records, and aside from the championships, Jordan is well known for hitting some of the craziest clutch shots and buzzer beaters. This is why if there is anyone that deserves to be on the top of the list, is Jordan. Although LeBron arguably had more competition to face in the playoffs and less help, I still believe Michael Jordan is the greatest NBA player of all time. But there are 2 young players by the name of Luka and Giannis that might eventually come to take the spot. Anyways, man, that's going to be the end of the video. Let me know in the comment section what you think of the video, what your ranking will be, and if you have any videos ideas I can make in the future.